take two because we were patting ourselves on the back for 4 days of consistency. And then I realized that the audio stack had once again changed and my mic was not working. So hopefully this audio is working.
Sorry.
I don't know.
What are you going to do?
I mean, seems like it's on the right one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd been telling this, I think, to Paul privately for a while, but there were more headcount cuts coming at Microsoft. And then Bloomberg yesterday said, yeah, they're all coming in July.
Yeah, we're kind of specific about sales, but I think it's going to be broader than that.
I believe it's going to be broader than that.
Yeah.
Sales will definitely be impacted for sure, but it's going to be broader than that. So,
right. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, it really helps morale when you cut like 6,000 in like earlier in like the spring, and then you do like another 300 in early June, and then you're doing like another big wave in July. Just really, really.
You got to keep them on their toes, man. They're getting soft.
Right. It's a game of Survivor, not a game of shipping quality software. So I'll tell you what, though, that this ChatGPT or OpenAI stuff continues to sort of, as the tables have turned, continues. So apparently ChatGPT, or OpenAI, I should say, won a $200 million government contract. And you got to think that's sort of part of this conversation where Microsoft's like, hey, that could, yes, Microsoft will make money or whatever, but you got to start to think that like maybe either like we should have won that mentality.
Well, yeah, but this is the deal with the devil they've both made. I mean, they're relying on each other and they're competing with each other, and it's gotten weird a lot. It's only going to continue to get
I was
weird.
gonna say it's only going to get more weird the more enterprisey. It's not that they're not an enterprise company. That's actually not even completely true, but more entrenched in the industry, I guess is the best way to say it, right?
Yeah, I forget where I say things, but I think you and I had this conversation where the fundamental success of ChatGPT is that it's like the Chrome of AI. It's like people are installing it even when they have something else on their device, and it's a good brand, somehow. We'll see if that endures, but they're moving quick.
Yeah. Yeah, and so those two companies are hacking it out publicly about how these business things are going to evolve or not evolve or something.
Publicly, everything's going great.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
what anyone's talking about. Everything is.
Satya and Sam selfie in a few weeks. I'm sure that's on the horizon.
I look, when build happened and that was a remote thing. Sorry, but that's a downgrade from what we had before. So
it's literally phoning it in.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, we'll continue to see what happens there. I think.
Listen. OpenAI is so chaotic. There's a site, if you haven't seen, go look at this. It's called the OpenAI files.
Oh yeah, this like just came out, didn't it?
Yeah, it's astonishing. And look, the only thing anyone needs to know for the future is that every day is going to be different, and this could implode any day, and just be ready for it because it's going to be an interesting fallout. But look, Microsoft kind of set up ChatGPT or OpenAI to be independent now. I mean, they could, they've proven their worth. So companies that might have said no to them before, like Apple, well, Apple's already said yes, but Google, Amazon, whatever, might be more inclined to work with them today because of what's happened. And maybe they don't need Microsoft as much. And then Microsoft, of course, has been working off of what they do, but also their own models. And, Copilot's going gangbusters. I don't think anyone has any complaints there. So everything is great.
Hey, Recall is still pretty cool.
I would describe this as a loop level success. Too soon?
Yeah, probably too soon. I'll tell you what, though, I'll tell you who uses Loop the most, at least, and this is a very small sample size. Our IT office at Stardock,
yep.
Our lead IT manager loves Loop.
The only people I know who use Loop with any regularity.
Here's what he uses it for, which is actually, realistically, a very smart use of it. So if he's doing some infrastructure work that's going to impact some line of business, uptime, whatever your thing is. So what he does is in the chat where, we're working through an issue or whatever we're doing, he will put the loop component in there of
Yeah,
what
because
he's doing.
but you're using Teams.
Yes.
So in other words, this thing runs natively. I don't know if that's the right word, but it comes alive inside of Teams because it's a component.
Yeah. And what he does is he puts this checklist of like, okay, taking the server down, updating the server. So people aren't constantly
Yeah,
hey, when's
okay.
this like it's like you can see in real time him updating the
All right,
checklist.
so
Yep.
you're a Microsoft house.
Yep.
I mean, you're using Microsoft infrastructure, so that kind of maps to. I know people from at Microsoft, former Microsoft, and then people closely aligned with Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Not many of them, but those are the people who are using Loop, and most. Even the people in the Microsoft sphere, I bet most of them have no idea it exists, and if they know
Oh,
it exists, they
probably.
have no idea what it is. I mean, it's been so sidelined, just ignored, I think is maybe the way to look at it. Or,
Yeah.
I mean,
I
stuff
still
happens
use
with
Notion
it, but
personally. And I will tell you what,
Notion,
Notion finally got some money out of me, which long
oh,
overdue.
for,
Their AI notes stuff is
yeah.
very good.
And this is like $20 a month, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna charge work for that. Like it's
So once you buy that though,
you get a
you
whole
get
bunch of
other,
other stuff.
yeah, right. So this is like calendar mail stuff. And,
But I don't. The thing is, they don't support. And I'm not. I rolled my eyes there a little bit. It's like they don't support
yeah,
Office
yeah,
365, which is a huge pain in the butt. I wish that they did, but and I'm sure
they,
9 million
will,
people are
right?
asking for that. But
Well, well, I don't know about mail, but I mean, Notion, of course, is supported by this crazy ecosystem of things.
yep.
So, it's impossible that doesn't happen.
No, it's. I think we all know it's more complex than just supporting Gmail, and that's sort of the basis of it right now.
Yep.
And I bet they get there. But their AI notes, so we
Yeah.
use it for sales calls or prospecting calls or scoping calls.
Okay.
It's good.
It's good. Wow.
Like, so what it does,
Uh,
and they're
yeah.
not the only ones doing this, but it's like, hey, I'm already in their ecosystem, whatever. So
Hmm.
it'll do like a really good summary, right? It takes the chat transcript, does a really good summary of it, but then at the bottom, it always puts the action items and it automatically creates a checklist. Like
Right.
it's good.
So interestingly, it didn't happen with this call, but it happens with Teams, and it happens. Well, it happens actually, this is just web based. So the other thing I use is also web based. But Notion will come up and say, "It looks like you're in a meeting,"
Yes, exactly that.
And it didn't happen right here actually.
Yeah.
So this time it didn't happen. But yeah. So and then
You can
yeah, okay.
manually start it too, so you don't have to. So
Mhm.
if you take notes during calls, like if you're doing a press call or whatever, I try it because it will
Dude,
dramatically change.
so Notion is hard for me because I love it. I mean,
Mhm.
I love it, and I wonder why they have not started charging me. I used to use it so much. I use it for so much. I think of it, it's like my everything app. I could literally write the articles that I write every day, write everything I write in Notion because
Yeah.
it outputs to WordPress perfectly with no cruft in the code. Like it's perfect. So it is one of those tools. And I don't actually do that, but it supports markdown syntax and stuff like that, which I like. But it doesn't have like a real offline mode, and there's no version of it where I can store my own, which I could put it in OneDrive or something and then make it offline that way. Not a huge deal, right? The pandemic in some ways has semi solved this problem because I just don't travel as much as I used to. But I'd like to, like
Mm-hmm.
I know I can export and that kind of stuff if I ever needed to move to something else. I've looked at other things. There are things that kind of come close, but Notion is like it's the stickiest app in the
It
world.
is.
Like
They've
it's
done a
so
good
good.
job at what they do. And if anybody's listening to this, there's tons of
Yeah.
alternatives. There's Anytype. I think there's Obsidian. There's
Yeah.
lots of similar
Yep.
tools, but it's more of the Notion is the best of breed currently.
Yeah, I don't use Obsidian literally because it cannot output clean HTML to WordPress
Yeah.
or to anything. And there are plugins for it, but they do not do what I just said. Like there's always extraneous crap in the code. And that's just unacceptable. So
Here's a good
that's
analogy of it. Edge can save your passwords, but 1Password is a better solution.
there you go. Yeah. And I mean, at least people have heard of Edge, like Loop, which is kind of Microsoft's thing and does do that integration bit. And you gave an example of it. There's some value to a tool like that, like a
Yeah.
tool that is from Microsoft, that my stuff is stored in OneDrive and integrates with the other stuff I may or may not be using is valuable. It's
Yeah.
just that Loop is garbage.
Right.
Like every time I use it, It's like, oh,
Yeah, because you
I
have
want to like this, and it's like,
it should be and it should have been that
mhm.
utility fabric between OneDrive, email, calendar, potentially chat,
You
everything.
should be able to from anything click something or whatever and type a little note. It's in there. It's accessible from
Mm-hmm.
whatever. It's and someone's gonna be like, oh, that does exist. I don't know, but it just isn't reliable enough. I got to look at it again. It has been a few months. I go back every once in a while. There are things I really do like about it. I think actually output is a problem. I think the thing I said about clean HTML output is a problem. I don't know. This is the thing for me. Like it has to be clean.
Yeah, well, it just has to
Work.
work.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that is such a fundamental thing that we overlook. It's like, okay, if we can do all that, but it's like not a great experience. Like it just needs to work, and it doesn't.
yep. Well, which is the Obsidian problem, which is, and people told me this multiple times. There are extensions or whatever the word is for Obsidian that output to HTML, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I know I've tried every single one of them, and they do not work the way I need it to work.
Yeah.
So, why that isn't a basic feature of that app is crazy to me. But when I copy and paste from Notion and I put it in in my site in the WordPress thing, 100% perfect.
Yeah. Well, and there's some other sides to it as well, especially once you start paying. You know that if you need
Mhm.
to get in contact with support, it exists, right?
Okay.
We have this conversation with Stardock software all the time. Corporations roll out Start 11 at huge scales, like tens of thousands of units. And
Hmm.
they every time they say, look, we know there's open source solutions or whatever options, but they said we can't get anybody on a phone. And so
Yeah.
we'll pay for it.
There you go.
And so if your entire life is based around something and you're not willing to pay for it, I don't know
Oh,
what.
that's my thing. I actually am. So if they came to me and said, "Look,
Oh yeah, yeah, no, I
you
know.
use this thing
I
and
know
blah blah
you
blah,
would.
whatever," I absolutely would.
But
I'm
that's not their business model. Their business model isn't to have Paul Thurrott pay. It's to have Brad Sands at Stardock
no,
start using it and be like,
of
everybody
course,
else needs to start using this
of
mentality.
course. But look, yes, there's a freemium model they're not taking advantage of. They're like I could pay for it. I've just looked at what I would get when I do that, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really care. But I feel like here's an idea: make offline support a paid feature. Then I would pay for it, and I'd be done. I would stop
Mm-hmm.
looking. I would just pay for that.
Yeah, that is the
Well,
big.
I still kind of want to put my data where I want it, but it's okay. Like Notion nails it so much across the board. The bar is so high to replace this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm stuck with it, and not because I'm unhappy and it can't. Actually, you can migrate out. You can just export
Oh yeah,
everything.
you can export, but why would you?
But like, I don't like. What am I gonna go do? Like, I enjoy the experience. I'm very familiar
Like
with
I
it.
want something that's 70% as good, you know, so I can have the offline use when I'm never offline anyway. Who cares?
Yeah, for that one time you're on an airplane that doesn't have Starlink or whatever the new
Yeah,
stuff is on.
like exactly right. If
I mean, I
this
am
was
going to
something,
Montana this summer, so maybe I should need offline. But the whole point is to not be able to be online.
I'm going to Boston today, and I'll be accessing this NAS thing I got remotely again. But I already know it's going to be fantastic. But I did something last night that I haven't successfully done in OneDrive in years, which is I was like, oh, I got to go find this article I wrote like a million years ago. I don't even know what year it was. It was in the 2010 sometime. And I typed in the phrase and hit enter, and it was like, boop. And it just gave me, it was like, yep, that's it. It was like, why can't the search kings at Google or Microsoft do this? Like it
Mm-hmm.
just worked instantly. That was the best. That's not why I got the NAS. It has nothing to do with it, but I was like, that's where my stuff is now. I should just look there. And I was like, instantaneous. I don't know. I like stuff that works.
Yeah.
Weird like that. I don't know.
Generally speaking, things that work are better than things that don't work. It's not a.
Yeah. Did your wife tell that to you one time? Is that how you?
She says a lot of things to me that I do not hear, or
Excuse me. Yeah, brother.
yeah. Anyway,
Well, enjoy the heat.
it's Thursday. Yeah, so it's supposed to get real hot.
Mm-hmm.
Real hot. We had some nice storms come through last night.
Yep. Yeah, I hope I lose my internet and then I won't be able to get to my NAS. That'll be hilarious.